Good morning and welcome to my practice. I am Attorney Patrycja Karlin, and just as a reminder, I practice in Chicagoland area, the state of Illinois. Just as a brief reminder, because I don't think I say that enough. So today it's going to be part 2 of migrant raids that are happening in our country as we speak. And again, my 2 cents on the issue. But before I speak on it, I want to make something crystal clear. Part of my practice is dedicated to immigration issues, to helping immigrants obtain lawful status in the United States. And I will bend my back over backwards for anyone who has a path to legal documents in this country. And by that, I mean either non-immigrant visa or immigrant visa, green card, eventually citizenship. So my office works tirelessly to help immigrants obtain legal status in this country, provided there is a path to obtain that status and according to the laws on the current laws on the books, because that's all we can do. I don't find a husband or a wife for anyone. I don't stretch the truth. Whatever is in front of me, I try to do the best I can to help my clients. And also another clarification. I am a firm believer as a human being and an immigration attorney that the government eventually should find a path to legal status for a lot of undocumented immigrants and a lot of overstays. Why do I not say all of them? Because I don't believe that all of them deserve it. But people who have been in this country without the papers, they cross the border illegally or overstayed their visa, but have been here for decades. I have people calling me who've been in this country for 30, 20, 15 years, and they still don't have a path to legalize their status. I believe for those people who are law-abiding, granted without proper paperwork, but law-abiding immigrants, hardworking, paying taxes, contributing to society, these people deserve a path to legalize their status. That is my opinion and my opinion only. But that will never happen if sanctuary cities like Chicago, New York, LA, Denver, Boston, and other crazy cities with crazy mayors are going to prevent ICE from grabbing the criminals, the illegal criminals. Please believe me when I tell you that when that happens, these mayors and governors of these blue states are not doing immigrants any favors. They're actually harming your cause. And my prior discussion on migrant raids, immigration raids, ICE raids, was completely and totally on point, and I was 100% correct. I told you, do not associate, if your status in this country is iffy, you don't have the papers, you cross the border illegally, you're on visa overstay, do not associate yourself with criminal element. Because right now, Trump's administration is solely focused on criminals. And when the blue states prohibit ICE from going to county jails and grabbing the criminals, you know what happens? They are forced to go into the streets. They're forced to go into factories and schools and hospitals. And when they're trying to gather the criminals, it is bound that someone who is not a criminal, but without papers, will be snatched up with that group. I told you that in my prior discussion on immigration raids, and I'm going to reiterate it right now. If you want to save your skin, if you want to stay in this country, first of all, stay in the legal lane, do not commit any crimes, and separate yourself from any family members or friends who have committed crimes. And this could be as little of a crime as a DUI. DUI is a crime. And if you're living with someone who has a DUI, sooner or later, ICE is going to knock on your door. And yes, you can follow the advice of other attorneys. You don't have to open the door. You don't have to, you can ask for a criminal warrant. All that is valid. But when you do it, you're exposing yourself to the fact that your entire family might be snatched up from your place of employment, from the school, from a hospital, from a medical office, from a church. So why do that to yourself when you don't have to? When you can protect yourself and write this out. Trump is not going to deport 30 million illegal immigrants from this country. That is impossible. And ACLU, instead of fighting Trump on gangbangers from Venezuela, they should try to cut a deal with Trump, saying, hey, we will work with you. We will convince these woke mayors and governors to help you grab the criminals, while at the same time, let's start working on an immigration reform, because that's what this country needs. And that's what a lot of people who call my office need help with. Because like I mentioned, I have people who call me and say, I've been here since 1990 and I can't legalize my status because there's no way for me to do it. And I would do anything to help that person. But there's nothing, sometimes there's nothing I can do. So instead of fighting the administration, maybe all these immigration organizations should help the administration to grab the criminals and then focus on trying to create a reform. And I guarantee you Trump would be open to it if people approached him from that angle. But instead, all the Democrats are fighting him on the immigration issue, on the immigration raids and ICE grabbing criminals. And I'm going to clarify something, one more thing for you before I sign off today. Crossing the border illegally is a civil offense, is not a criminal offense. However, 99% of the people who crossed the border during Biden's administration committed a crime the minute they used a fake name, destroyed their papers. A lot of them destroyed their documents, IDs, passports before crossing the border. They used some sort of fake name. They lied where they came from. They lied to other aspects of their life. And the minute or when they used a coyote to cross the border, all these things are criminal offenses. So when all these experts on TV tell you that it's not a criminal offense to simple act of crossing the border illegally is not a criminal offense. I agree with that statement. However, the minute you use the coyote, the minute you paid for crossing the border, the minute you used a fake name or pretended you had no documents or used fake documents, all of these things are criminal offenses. So if you used any of these means while crossing the border, you committed a crime. So that's kind of where I am today. Oh, and one more point. There was a woman yesterday who got snatched up at the airport. She was on visa overstay. She tried to use an ID that did not work. So be smart. Why are you traveling via air when the situation is the way it is right now? You should not be. Use your brain. If you're going on a road trip, you're allowed to go on a road trip, but don't speed. Go within the allowed speed limit. Don't drink and drive. Don't use fake documents at airports or with other governmental agencies because you will be found out. So let's be smart. Let's try to find a path to some sort of legal status for whomever qualifies. And let's use our brains when we're dealing with the current situation. You will write it out. A lot of you will write it out because you're good people, and good things gonna come, but they won't come if we keep fighting the administration. So thank you for today. I'll see you tomorrow, not tomorrow, I'll see you next time, maybe tomorrow. And then we'll talk about employment visas, because those are important and those are a possibility for some people who are in this country. Thank you. Again, Patrycja Karlin. Subscribe, join, tell your friends about my channel. Thank you.